Hey, what's up, mortals? It's KiChanVA here with a new video for you. Welcome to part 7 of What If Deku Was Taskmaster. I just wanted to greet you guys by saying sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. So we begin. Thanks to their cooperation, Izuku and Mei finished working on their support items and had plenty of time to spare so they could practice with their gear and get used to it. They then filled out the necessary paperwork for their equipment and felt confident about the upcoming event. Once the day arrived, Izuku excitedly jumped out of bed and got ready as quickly as possible. He ate breakfast and went to meet Uraraka and Mei as he always did. As he tried to leave, Gunhead eagerly saw him off with a mirage of questions.
All right, just to make sure. You have everything right?
Yeah, it's safely stored at UA, and Mei and I triple-checked it to make sure.
And you'll remember to do your stretches, right? Can't have you getting a cramp out there.
Dad, I'll be fine. There's nothing to worry about.
I know. It's just... This is a really big day!
He exclaimed as he closed in for
Dad,
a big hug.
Calm down. It's a shame I can't watch you live since I've got to work, but I promise to be cheering you on all the way. So good luck out there, and do your best.
Thanks, I will. Izuku waved goodbye to Gunhead and met up with Mei and Uraraka to make his way to UA. He and his classmates then changed into their sports uniforms and tried to calm their nerves before President Mike called them out along with the other students.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
The crowd let out a roaring cheer as he continued.
That's what I like to hear. Let's start off by bringing out our first years.
The students walked out into the arena as the crowd cheered even louder.
Wow, there's so many people, and they're all here just to see us.
Strange. I don't remember the first year portion looking like this during other sports festivals. It's usually the third years that get this type of attention.
Do you think it has something to do with the villain's attack?
Hey, you 1A jerks!
A voice shouted from Class B.
Don't think we forgot about what you said! You're going down!
Jeez, those guys sure hold a grudge, huh?
Well, there wouldn't be a grudge if certain somebodies didn't antagonize them.
Yeah, not cool.
Sorry about that, but in my defense, those guys were probably gunning for us no matter what.
That doesn't excuse making it worse.
With the students introduced, Midnight took the stage and started the event. Now, let's kick things off with the Athlete's Oath, which will be brought to you by none other than this year's student representative, Class 1A's very own Katsuki Bakugo. Class A felt a collective chill run down their spine, feeling that Bakugo would take this opportunity to yet again tarnish their class's name, and their fears were immediately validated by what the blonde said next.
Make no mistake about it. I'm gonna win.
All the students were appalled by his arrogance.
You cocky bastard! I ought to teach you a lesson right here, right now!
Bakugo, they already despise us. Why'd you have to make things even worse?
It's not my fault you all make good stepping stones.
The students shouted even more as he went back to where he stood. Along the way, he walked past Izuku and paused for a moment before whispering.
The last time was just a fluke. I will beat you!
Good luck with that. With that out of the way, let's go on with the first qualifying event, an obstacle course. This will be a 4-kilometer race around the stadium between all 11 classes. As long as you don't go off the path, anything's fair game. Even more nefarious tactics. Now then, get into position, racers. The students moved to the starting line and waited for Midnight's signal to begin the race. All right, ready, set, go! The students wasted no time as they immediately shoved and pulled one another to get ahead. But Todoroki quickly tried to put a stop to this, with an ice attack meant to freeze their feet to the ground. To his surprise, a large number of students from both his and other classes were able to avoid the attack, but Todoroki paid no mind to this, as he took an early lead before running into the first obstacles of the race, an extensive array of zero-pointers from the entrance exam. Without hesitation, he shot out a massive ice attack that froze the robots in place. After he made his way past them, some students tried to take advantage of his attack, but quickly regretted it as the robots fell in their path and obstructed them.
What a move! Guess we shouldn't have expected anything less from a recommendation student.
However, unlike many others, Bakugo wasn't halted by this, but instead used his explosions to fly over all the chaos before targeting Todoroki.
Hold it right there, Icy Hot! I already said that I'm winning this thing!
The two began to struggle with one another as they fought for first place up until Izuku Midoriya decided to interrupt. He had boots equipped with thrusters on the back of his calves and at the bottom of his feet, and used them to fly over the chaos, much like Bakugo did, and then performed a diving maneuver to trip Todoroki and knock Bakugo off balance, causing them to fall over each other as he took the lead. Before leaving their field of view, he turned in midair to taunt them briefly. Whoops, looks like I'm getting used to these controls. Oh well, see you at the finish line.
Get back here!
The two shouted in unison before leaping off the ground and charging toward him. Before we get back to the video, I'd like to talk about our new channel Celestia, our channel dedicated to all things Dungeons and Dragons. Currently, we have a series breaking down the different spells in D&D, and soon we'll be starting some other new series. So if you're a fan of D&D or have an interest in learning about it, check it out. Additionally, if there's something you've always wanted to see get made into a video, head over there and leave a comment mentioning it. And just like that, Midoriya steals first place as Class 1A puts quite the gap between them and the rest of the chasing pack. Who could have seen this coming? It only makes sense. After the villain attack, Class A got a taste of the real world of heroes. So they, more than any others here, understood that there's no room for hesitation. So when taking that into account, this outcome was to be expected. What an extraordinary breakdown from my partner! Partner? You forced me to... Ha-ha! Always with the jokes, eh, Eraser? Now then, back to the action. It looks like most students cleared the robots and are now approaching the second obstacle. Mei Hatsumi stood over the large cannon with a giant grin painted on her face.
Time to show off my adorable babies.
Many students gave her weird looks when she said this, but she disregarded this as she used her support item to fly over the obstacle. Nice work, Mei, Izuku thought as he observed his friend from afar. Looks like your gear's working perfectly today, too. His thoughts were cut off by Bakugo's angry scream as he approached. Seriously? I expected him to be stubborn, but this is ridiculous even for him. He looked forward and evaluated his final hurdle, the landmine zone, which was followed by a tunnel that most likely led to the finish line. I'm so close that I can taste it, just a little further.
Get over here, you stupid Deku!
Don't think I'm out of this just yet. Bakugo and Todoroki tried their hardest to close the gap, but in the end, Izuku crossed the finish line just in time to clinch his first victory of the day. And there you have it, folks! The winner of the obstacle course race is none other than Izuku Midoriya. The crowd let out a cheer for the boy as other students made their way over the finish line, and the race was brought to a close. All right, it's time for our next event, a cavalry battle. You all will form into teams of 4 as you attempt to steal points from one another. The 4 teams with the highest points total will progress to the finals. Before Midnight could continue explaining the rules, some students interrupted her.
Wait, how many points does everyone get?
And how do we steal points? Would you shut it already? I'm about to explain. As I was saying, your points are based on your positions in the last event, and the team's points are based on the team members' total points. These points will be reflected through headbands worn by the person on top, and you earn more points by stealing more headbands. Oh, and one more thing. The person in the first place won't have their team's points determined by their teammates. Why is that? That's because first place is worth a whopping 10 million points. So basically, if you beat Izuku Midoriya, you're guaranteed a spot in the final. As she said this, every single student sent stares filled with immense bloodlust toward Izuku. All right, kids, you have 15 minutes to recuperate, form teams, and work out some strategies. Better make it count. Go! Mei Hatsumi immediately walked towards Izuku, tapped his shoulder, and started questioning him.
So, do you have a plan for us to win this?
Us? You're seriously going to team up with the guy everyone wants to take down?
No, I want to team up with the guy who knows my babies inside and out. Always has a trick up his sleeve, and definitely isn't letting himself get knocked out this early,
she said with a gleeful smile as she playfully bumped his shoulder.
So I'll ask again. How are we going to win this?
Thanks for the support.
As for having a plan, first we need people willing to work with us. And I have a feeling those are going to be hard to find.
Oh, are you guys on a team?
Ojiko questioned, walking up to the two.
Can I join you? Since it's a team event, working with friends is a good idea, right?
As she said this, Tokiyami approached. Yeah, working with people whose abilities you're familiar with is the best option in this scenario.
So you guys are with us?
Yep.
I trust you to utilize my quirk wisely.
Awesome! Now that we've got a team, let's think of a formation.
Their planning time quickly elapsed, and it was time to begin the cavalry battle.
All right, folks, time for the second event to begin. In 3, 2, 1, go!
With the cavalry battle underway, many students turned towards Izuku in a desperate bid to immediately claim the coveted 10 million points.
Oh, come on! They're coming for us this early?
Despite this, Izuku kept his cool and activated Mei's jetpack as Uraraka floated the team over the competition. Jiro attempted to launch a surprise attack from behind, but Tokiyami's dark shadow effectively covered them. They started to descend from the air, but weren't allowed a break as Shoji's team closed in. But their attempt proved ineffective as well. Throughout the battle, Izuku's team focused on keeping their distance from the other competitors, allowing them to keep their 10 million points relatively easily. That is, however, until Todoroki decided it was finally time for his team to get involved with only a minute left on the clock. He instructed Ida and Kaminari to prepare to use their quirks at full power, while Yaoyorozu prepared an insulator. Once the insulator was complete, Todoroki took it and covered his team as Kaminari unleashed a large-scale attack.
Indiscriminate shock! 1.3 million volts!
As he said this, numerous teams were stunned as Todoroki used his quirk to freeze the ground and immobilize the other groups while his team closed in on Izuku's.
Whoa! What a combo from Todoroki's team!
Interesting. Todoroki saw that many people were able to avoid his attack earlier, so he used Kaminari's electricity to keep them in place this time.
Excellent play-by-play!
Luckily, Izuku's team was spared from Kaminari's attack thanks to Dark Shadow, but unfortunately, they were surrounded by an ice wall that forced them to fight against Todoroki's team. To make matters worse, Dark Shadow was utterly exhausted from defending against Kaminari.
Dang it! I should have seen something like this coming,
Izuku stated in frustration.
Doesn't matter, though. There's barely any time left, so we can't lose now as long as we just keep away. Quickly, shift towards his left side.
Todoroki immediately realized what Izuku was trying to do, and unfortunately for him, his team already had a plan for that. Todoroki, make sure you grab it, okay?
I will. Let's finish this.
Sorry about this, Midoriya, but I'm not losing to you twice. Hover Torque, Recipro Burst! In the blink of an eye, Todoroki's team breezed past Izuku's team as Todoroki stole the 10 million point headband before anyone could even register what had happened.
Oh my! What a last-minute upset! Midoriya's team had a steady game plan up until now. But it looks like Todoroki has completely turned his battle on its head. Nice work, everyone. That went perfectly. Now keep running. We can't let them catch us.
As Todoroki's team tried to retreat with their prize, a blue and green blur flashed past their eyes as the headband they had just stolen was plucked out of Todoroki's hands. His head turned, trying to understand what just happened, and he locked eyes with Izuku floating in the air using his boots.
Not bad. You had us on the ropes for a bit, but unfortunately for you, my boots let me move even faster than Ida can. See ya,
Izuku said, bidding farewell to Todoroki as he fired off his boots and flew into the air.
And just like that, Midoriya claims first place! What a thrilling conclusion!
Todoroki's anger flared up as he couldn't accept the defeat.
Get back here!
He shouted, unknowingly igniting his left side and sending a flame attack at Izuku, which he easily dodged.
Phew, that was a close one. I didn't expect him to use his fire side.
His rather brief moment of relief was immediately interrupted by Bakugo's explosions as he rapidly approached.
Stop running and fight me! Well, the battle's basically over already, so I'll pass,
Izuku said while performing a mid-air backflip, firing off the thrusters on his calves to avoid Bakugo before spinning in the air and getting a firm grip on his shirt.
Hey, Zero! Catch!
he shouted while launching Bakugo back toward his team as Midnight ended the cavalry battle. Time's up! The cavalry battle is over. Let's see the top 4 teams. In first place, we have Izuku Midoriya's team. In second place, we have Shoto Todoroki's team. In third place, we have Katsuki Bakugo's team. And finally, in fourth place, we have Hitoshi Shinzo's team. The crowd cheered for the finalists as Izuku and company huddled together to celebrate their win. Now then, we will announce the final battles after a 1-hour lunch break. Competitors, feel free to have something to eat and take some time to recuperate. You'll need to make sure you're at full strength so you can do your best. All right, guys, want to go eat together?
Sure thing.
Sounds good.
I'll eat later. I've got some tinkering to do on my jetpack.
Nope, Izuku firmly stated, taking her jetpack and grabbing her arm.
Oh, wait, no, I want to work on my baby.
Don't care. We both know you're barely gonna eat anything if I don't make you go. End of discussion.
Fine,
May said, rather disappointedly complying. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in all this information thus far. I hope you enjoyed it. Now there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. Firstly, I'd like to thank our patrons, BD Flames, Ethan Davis, Terry Chills, Shifter Meals, Adam Zagil, Zill, Zave Beat 03, and Joshua Phelps. Secondly, I'd like to thank all of our YouTube members, Toya Costa, Rob the King, Sith Lord 906, CF 2364 and Knuckles, Rimuru Tempest, Angel Juarez, Donald C. Stewart, Bryant Greer, and Demonized Fox. Thirdly, if you're in the mood for some great storytelling, We the Celestials have got you covered. Our We the Celestials My Hero Academia and Naruto What If channels retell the story of their namesake anime with a twist. Check it out if you're interested. Fourthly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in today's excellent content production. Their details can be found in the description below. Lastly, if you're interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, I'd like to extend an invitation for you to join the team. The only caveat is that we only accept members from 16 years old to join our crew. You can sign up for whichever category fulfills your interest by joining the recruitment Discord using the link in the description below. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, that's it for today's video. I'm KiChanVA. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day.